Hi, my name is Oswald Sobrino, and I'm the author of this book, Philosophy in Don Quixote, with the subtitle Commentary on the Meditations of Ortega y Gasset. In this book, I comment on a work written by the Spanish existentialist philosopher Jose Ortega y Gasset called Meditations on Quixote, Ortega's own reflections on the classic Don Quixote by Cervantes. And this was Ortega's first published book, and it was published in 1914. So in this book, I'm commenting on Ortega's work, so it's part of my series on Ortega. I'm going to read a bit of the introduction with a little ad-libbing to give you an idea of this book. The introduction. In 1914, the very young Jose Ortega y Gasset, he would die about 40 years later in 1955, wrote his first book entitled Meditations on Quixote, in Spanish, Meditaciones del Quijote. During those 40 years, Ortega would become a one-man revival of philosophy in Spain. What an apt beginning to the revival of a serious way of doing philosophy of Spain. What an apt beginning to have a book on Quixote, since Spain is the only nation, to my knowledge, in which the national hero is a fictional character. You could say the national hero of Spain is Don Quixote de la Mancha, a fictional hero. This small book follows my earlier book on Ortega and the idea of philosophy itself. This first book of mine is entitled Freedom and Circumstance and considers lectures of Ortega given in Madrid on what is philosophy. Now in this short book, I go deeper to the earliest roots of Ortega's revolutionary approach to philosophy, an approach in which the vital, life itself, takes precedence over abstractions. The categories of life become, for Ortega, the key to philosophy. Where did Ortega get this inspiration for this vital, literally vital philosophy about life? Let's find out in this short book. At the same time as I communicate what I see and read in Ortega, I will record my own reactions. To encounter Ortega, or any serious philosopher, is to philosophize. These pages will, of course, contain much of Ortega, since I am commenting on his book, Meditations on Quixote, but also inevitably much of myself. As the ancients knew, to make a commentary, to reread a great author or thinker, is to create anew. The pattern of these pages in this short book on philosophy in Don Quixote is, first, I describe what Ortega writes in the Meditations on Quixote, and then I react to that. Compared to my earlier book on Ortega, this one has been more of a challenge. In the Meditations on Quixote, we need to read even more between the lines to infer what Ortega is communicating. The erudite commentator of Ortega's student, Julian Marias, has been of enormous help. So here's the other main question. Why even bother with Ortega? Ortega gives us clarity about living, about life. We are caught up in life. Clarity would be a nice thing to have. Fortunately, unlike many other philosophers, Ortega writes clearly. So as you enter this book, let's go forward without fear. Vamos sin miedo. Thank you.